Good evening and welcome. Tonight I have a really cool special treat for you. This book is called Life as a Samurai, and it's a you choose book. It's basically a choose your own adventure book based on historical events. Now, for this channel, when I do books, I always read them and practice them before each video. Sorry, I have a squeaky chair if you're new to my channel. Sorry. Usually what I do, I check them out at the library, I read them as soon as I get them, and I usually record about 2 or 3 days later. It's usually like I'll read them, I'll figure out how I want to record them, if I even want to use them. Usually sometimes I'll read a book and decide not to use it and just set it aside and return it to the library. But this book, since it's a choose your own adventure book, I have not read this book in advance. This is the first time I've done this on my channel. I've only read the introduction and stopped myself. So I've been itching to get into this book, but I want to have a genuine reaction to the adventures as life as a samurai. Let me show you how this works. So it goes through 3 different chapters of Japanese history. It goes, It goes through the Genpei War, the rise of Nobunaga, and the quest of the Ronin. And then chapters 1 and 5 just talk about samurai history. So let's get through it. Chapter 1, Japan's Samurai. Centuries ago, Japan was a violent, unstable place. Powerful lords called daimyo fought long, bloody wars in the search for power and wealth. Secretive assassins called ninja prowled the night. Warrior monks combined battle with prayer. Foot soldiers called ashigaru fought with spears, bows, and other weapons. Exactly how this way of life developed isn't entirely clear, but the warriors who led the fighting are well known. They were the samurai. Warriors matching the description of samurai existed for centuries, but it wasn't until the 1100s that they were called samurai. The term samurai appeared as early as the 900s, but at first it referred to the emperor's servants. The word itself translates as those who serve. In time, the word became associated with those who served during times of war. The role of the samurai changed over time. The earliest samurai were likely wealthy landowners who also trained in the art of war. Later, the samurai became specialized warriors. By the late 1100s, the samurai rode on horseback and used bows and arrows as their main weapons. Over the years, war became a way of life in Japan. The period from 1467 until about 1600 is known as the Age of the Warring States. Powerful daimyo were at nearly constant war with one another. By this time, the samurai sword had replaced the bow as the preferred weapon. The samurai were officers and generals leading huge armies into battle. Some were no longer content to remain tools of powerful daimyo. They seized power and became daimyo themselves, ruling their own land and armies. Later, many samurai who'd either lost or left their masters struck out on their own. These wandering samurai were called ronin. The samurai were supposed to live by a strict code of conduct, although not all of them did. This code was called bushido, the way of the warrior. It included such qualities as courage, respect, loyalty, and honesty. Above all else, the samurai valued honor. Samurai warriors played a major role in almost every major conflict in Japan for more than 500 years. They helped shape Japan's history. So let's fight in the Genpei War. Turn to page 13. Here we go. The Genpei War. It is the spring of 1184. You ride through the night on your trusted horse. You come to the top of a steep hillside that overlooks a large fort called Ichi-no-Tani. Beyond the fort are the ocean and the ships of the Taira clan. The Taira ruled Japan for nearly 30 years. Minamoto Yoshitsune and his soldiers stand outside the fort. The Minamoto clan is a bitter rival to the Taira clan. Yoshitsune's brother, Minamoto Yoritomo, is the leader of the Minamoto clan. Yoritomo seeks to seize power from the Taira clan. High-ranking samurai from both sides have asked you to fight under their banners. Your family has ties to the Minamoto clan. Your father fought alongside Yoritomo's father during the Heiji Rebellion more than 20 years ago. The Taira destroyed the Minamoto forces in that battle. Your father was one of the few Minamoto samurai to survive. Taira Kiyomori, the previous leader of the Taira clan, was a good and fair leader. Japan had rarely seen such good, stable leadership in recent times. For more than 20 years, Kiyomori was the most powerful man in Japan. He was even more powerful than the emperor. Before Kiyomori died in 1181, he turned over his power to his son, Taira Munemori. You're not sure family ties are enough to make you fight against this ruling family. Do we do the Minamoto or Taira? I mean, we already know who wins. I'm gonna choose the Minamoto. Your family's honor is more important than anything else. You will not turn your back on a family friend in this time of greatest need. As you ride toward the Minamoto camp, several samurai ride out to greet you. The camp buzzes with activity. The common soldiers are falling into rings. Samurai on horseback are barking at orders. Yoshitsune welcomes you. We'll need all the help we can get, he says. This is our chance to end this war. The Taira killed my father 25 years ago. I will finally get revenge for his death. Yoshitsune explains the plan. Part of the army will attack the fort from the shore, drawing the enemy's attention. Then a small group of samurai on horseback will charge down the steep slope above the fort. They will attack from the rear. Alright, frontal attack from the shore, or samurai charge from behind. I think the charge from behind would be safest. Yeah, I think you want to attack from where the enemy is looking. Alright, page 22. We don't die. I would be honored to ride with you into battle, tell Yoshitsune. Oh, there he is. He looks very grumpy. He smiles and nods. Oh, look at his horse. Ooh. Several hours later, the sun has set and you're back on your horse. You and a small group of mounted samurai wait atop the slope leading to the back of the fort. You keep out of sight. It's important that this attack be a complete surprise. At last, the main force begins to attack. You and the other horsemen carefully make your way down the slope. It is dark and the footing is uncertain, but you make it down safely. No Taira forces lie in wait. They are all defending the fort against the attack from the front. Attack! Shouts Yoshitsune. Alright, do we set the fort on fire? Or do we ride around to the main battle? I think we should set it on fire. We don't want to ride around to the front. That makes no sense. We're sneaking in the back. Let's set it on fire. Page 30. Let's get them. The fort is the only advantage the Taira clan has. The best chance of victory is to burn it down. You get off your horse and gather kindling to start a small fire. Others are doing the same. Some men launch flaming arrows over the fence. Within minutes, the crackling fire lights the sky. You hurry back to your horse. The enemy is now in full retreat. As you ride, you come up alongside Yoshitsune. He looks at you and gives a short nod. Yes. Side by side, you charge into the battle ahead. Victory is at hand. It feels good to be on the winning side. Page 43. Let's see, did we do it? The Minamoto attack is a huge success. As the fort burns, the Taira forces retreat. The following year, you fight at the Battle of Danora, which finishes off the Taira army. 7 years later, Yoritomo forces Emperor Gotoba to grant him the title of shogun. This title gives him military control of Japan. Yoritomo rewards you for his loyal service. You serve him for the rest of your days. Yes, we did it. We did it. We did it. Okay, let's go on another adventure. Page 11. Page 11. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to stand with the daimyo Nobunaga during an attack in 1560. Page 45. This is exciting. Nobunaga. The rise of Nobunaga. You sit on your horse and look over a low plain. Smoke rises from an enemy camp ahead of you. It is spring 1560, and you are in the middle of a war. You ride next to your daimyo, Oda Nobunaga. He is an intelligent, capable leader. But his army is small compared with the invading army you're watching. Ooh. Daimyo Imagawa Yoshitomo commands the invading force. Yoshitomo has mercilessly captured everything in his path and killed anyone who stood in his way. Now he seeks to take Nobunaga's lands. No way. He may have overplucked his eyebrows, but he is a fierce warrior. The scouts say the enemy has 12 men for every one of ours, you say. How can we hope to stand against such numbers? We can't fight a frontal attack, Nobunaga answers. We would quickly be overwhelmed. We can't surrender either. Yoshimoto is ruthless, and we would die as cowards. What then? We can't fight or surrender. What hope do we have? We can fight, Nobunaga says. We will not wait for the enemy to attack. They are overconfident. We must use that against them. We will bring the fight to Yoshimoto. Nobunaga's plan is brilliant. You place your banners at a nearby temple. The bright banners will lead enemy scouts to believe that your main force is camped there. Then you will march under the cover of the forest to attack the enemy camp. If you can take the enemy by surprise, you might just have a chance. It's a long shot, but it's the only shot you have. Nobunaga expects you to play a major role in defending your homeland. You don't want to let him down. All right, lead a small scouting force or lead the main attacking force? I think we should lead the main attacking force. We're going to need all the men we can get against this huge army. If we lead a small scout and we get caught, we're done for. The greatest honor for any samurai is to be the first into battle. You can't pass up the opportunity to lead the attack. The next day you march through the thick forest. Nobunaga's scouts report that Yoshimoto's forces are camped in a small canyon called Denkaku Hazama, near the village of Okehazama. The enemy leaders are celebrating their recent victories. They will be unprepared for battle. Even better, a steady rain will help cover your movements. At last the enemy camp is within sight. You look behind you and see that your men are ready to fight. You adjust your helmet and grip your katana tightly. Attack, you shout, and the army storms out from the trees. More than 1,000 of Nobunaga's best fighters rush into the enemy camp. Oh, your sneak attack has worked. Many of the enemy are unarmed. Some are drunk. Still others flee in the confusion. Nobunaga's army is cutting through the enemy. But unless you can take down Yoshimoto and his officers, the attack will be meaningless. What do we do? Do we seek out minor officers, or do we try to kill Yoshimoto? We gotta find him. We gotta find Yoshimoto. Let's get him. He's going down. As long as Imagawa Yoshimoto is in command of his forces, you have no chance of real victory. Oh, my heart's pumping. Killing low-ranking samurai and soldiers will be meaningless. Yoshimoto's tent is at the center of the camp. You and several other samurai head directly for it. A quick strike is important. If the enemy soldiers form ranks, you're doomed. As you reach the tent, Yoshimoto himself steps outside. He yells at his men to stop fighting among themselves. You see the look of shock on his face as he realizes that he is the one under attack. We got him. You and your fellow samurai quickly surround the enemy leader. Kill Yoshimoto or capture. Obviously, we're gonna kill him. Duh, we're the samurai. Yoshimoto grips his sword as you and 3 other samurai close in. 2 of the samurai break off to fight the enemy leader's guards. You and the other samurai deal with Yoshimoto. The look in your enemy's eyes tells you that he knows he is beaten. Despite his huge advantage in numbers, Yoshimoto was unprepared. He will pay for his mistake with his life. Your friend and ally Daisuke moves in for the kill. He thrusts a spear at Yoshimoto's chest. Yoshimoto's sword flashes as he deflects the blow. With the impact, Yoshimoto spins toward you, momentarily defenseless. You waste no time. Your blade hums through the air as you swing, killing Yoshimoto instantly. Word quickly spreads that Yoshimoto and his generals are dead. Without a leader, many of the enemy soldiers surrender and vow to fight for Nobunaga instead. We did, guys. I'm sorry. role in the battle helped Nobunaga defend his lands and gain a powerful new army. Nobunaga wastes little time in using his newfound power. He marches the army to Kyoto. There he plans to unify all of Japan under his command. Nobunaga quickly becomes one of the most feared and respected leaders Japan has ever known. You are one of his most trusted samurai. You have sworn an oath of loyalty to him. A samurai's word is his honor, and it is an oath you will never break. You know that you will continue to serve and protect him as long as he rules Japan, which is not long because he gets murdered pretty quickly. The end. Yes. I swear I didn't read this beforehand. I swear I didn't. I'm so excited. Yes. Yes. Okay. Last one. Oh, I'm nailing it. Oh, I hope I don't totally mess up this last one. We're going to live the life of a wandering Ronin in 1637. 71. Feeling good. The quest of the Ronin. You ride alone along a dusty road, the only road that I've ever known. I'm sorry. I am so pumped. Me and Daisuke took down that daimyo. Okay, anyway. Your katana hanging from your belt. A small village lies ahead. The year is 1637, and you are in Japan's Shimabara Peninsula. Many people here have become Christians, even though a former shogun, Tokugawa Ieyasu, outlawed Christianity in 1614. The Tokugawa shogunate still seeks to remove the practice of Christianity from Japan. You are a faithful Buddhist, but you sympathize with the Christians who are being mistreated. You adjust your top knot. The hairstyle marks you as a samurai and serves as a warning to anyone who might think to challenge you. But while you are a samurai, you are without a master. You are a wandering swordsman, a ronin. The age of the warring states is over. You and many others are without a place in Japan's new political system. Many of your fellow ronin have joined the Christian peasants in organizing a revolt, but you have little interest. You are on a warrior pilgrimage known as a musha shugyo. Unlike the samurai of the past, your goal isn't to gain political power, land, or money. You fight for the pure honor and joy of fighting, hoping it will bring you enlightenment. You ride into the village. Word is spread that ronin are gathering here to fight duels. Sure enough, you come upon a small gathering. 2 ronin are fighting with the wooden swords now used in duels. You get off your horse and walk toward them. Another samurai greets you. My name is Saito, he says. Have you come to fight? You nod. Just then the duel ends. Are you fighting today? You ask Saito. No, I have other matters to attend to, he answers. The local daimyo, Matsukara Katsuye, is heartless and cruel. I am part of a resistance movement against him. You should join us. Sure. Let's do it. Let's take him down. I've heard of Katsuye, you say. I'm here to fight. It may as well be for a cause. I will join you. Saito smiles. The 2 of you ride out of the village and head to nearby Hara Castle. There he introduces you to Amakusa Shiro, the leader of the revolt. You are surprised to discover that Shiro is only 16 years old, but even at such a young age it is clear that he is a skilled leader. Another good sword is always welcome, he tells you. We have attacked the enemy at several of his strongholds, but a huge Tokugawa force marches against us. All of our forces are falling back. We will make our stand here at Hara Castle. Saito tells you he's leaving Hara Castle to scout for enemy forces. I could use your help on the mission, he continues. Sure. Yeah, I like Saito. Let's go. Let's go on the scouting mission. I'm with you, you tell your new friend. Oh, I hope that he's not. Oh, the 2 of you take off on horseback. You ride south along the coastline of the Ariake Sea, which the enemy forces will have to cross by ship. Soon you see signs of an enemy camp. Several ships are out at sea. Some of them appear to be European. The Dutch have been trading heavily in this area. Is it possible that they are helping the Tokugawa forces? Saito also sees the ships. Why would the Europeans help the shogun? He wonders out loud. Aren't they Christians? Shouldn't they be on our side? You shrug. I'm not sure. The Europeans will do anything for a trade agreement. I guess money is more important to them than their god. You ride inland a bit to stay hidden, but you know that you're risking being captured. Should we turn around, you ask? We need to know what we're up against, Saito answers. We have to keep going. But you're not the only scouts in the area. Without warning, an arrow whizzes past your head. An enemy scout has spotted you. Fall back, Saito shouts. But before he can move, another arrow catches him in the chest. He slumps and falls to the ground, blood trickling from his mouth. Your friend is dead. If you stay here, you might be next. Saito. No. Retreat. We don't stand a chance. There's nothing you can do here. Saito's dead, and the Tokugawa forces are closing in fast. You turn your horse around and race back toward Hara Castle. You haven't learned much about the size of the Tokugawa force, but maybe the information about the Dutch ships will be useful. You return safely to the castle and report what you saw. Shiro's generals shake their heads at the news that the shogun might be allied with the Dutch. It means that the enemy will have cannons and plenty of gunpowder. It's bad news for the rebellion. You join others in building up the castle defenses. Part of your job is to take apart ships and use the wood to strengthen the castle walls, which are in poor repair. Everyone works hard, knowing that this likely will be the rebellion's last stand. If the Tokugawa troops take Hara Castle, it will be over and nothing will have changed. In January 1638, the siege begins. Cannons fire at the castle day and night. You have fewer weapons than the enemy troops. There is little you can do to fight back. Oh no. Soon the cannon fire stops. This is when the real siege begins. The Tokugawa forces are well supplied, but your soldiers are cut off from any supply lines. Food and what little gunpowder you had stocked are quickly running out. The enemy doesn't need it to keep attacking. They just have to wait for your supplies to run out. A small group of rebels is planning a raid on the enemy camp. You can go with them if you wish. Let's do it. Let's go with the raid. We need supplies. Ooh. Tokugawa Ieyasu. Life inside the castle during the winter has been harsh. Food supplies are low. The rebel soldiers are becoming discouraged. You jump at the chance to join a raiding party. You hope to find some supplies and take out some Tokugawa forces along the way. You and a small force of rebels move on foot under the cover of night. You stay silent as you prepare to strike. At last you attack. The small rebel force sweeps into an enemy camp. The element of surprise works in your favor. Guns fire and swords clash as you quickly overrun the camp. The enemy is slow to respond, and you begin to retreat to the castle. But since you are on the front lines of the strike, you are one of the last to retreat. Before you can return to the safety of the castle, an enemy gunshot catches you in the back. No. You fall to the ground, struggling to breathe. You know that your wound is deadly. As you lie there dying, you listen to the sounds of battle around you. You don't know whether your fellow rebels can win the war, but at least you'll die knowing that you won this battle. That is good enough for you. Well, let me see the conclusion real quick. Oh yeah, the samurai's place in history. The last chapter. People are still fascinated by the way the samurai lived their lives. The samurai blended a warlike nature with a sense of honor, tradition, and family. The samurai could be ruthless killers, but at the same time they were bound by honor and the code of Bushido. Under the code, a samurai's oath was sacred. Many preferred to take their own lives rather than live with the shame of defeat. The samurai's rise to power began in the late 1100s after the Genpei War. At that time, Minamoto Yoritomo made himself Japan's first shogun. Any daimyo who wanted to hold or expand his power then needed the samurai. The samurai helped shape the politics and culture of the nation for the next 700 years. Most samurai loyally served their masters. Their oath of loyalty was a bond they would not break. The rise of Oda Nobunaga marked the beginnings of the decline of samurai power. After defeating Imagawa Yoshimoto in 1560, which I did, Nobunaga changed the face of Japanese politics. He and his successor, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, started to unify the empire. Under their powerful rule, the age of the warring states came to an end. Japan was unified around 1600. As the fighting ended, the role of the samurai changed quickly. Daimyo no longer needed the samurai. Masterless samurai roamed the countryside as ronin, battling one another just for the honor of doing battle. Some still served the empire. Others traveled to other countries to fight. Still others left war behind and became farmers, riders, or monks. Samurai numbers continued to decline over the next 150 years. By the 1860s, Japanese soldiers were training in Western fighting methods. In 1873, Emperor Meiji abolished the class of samurai in Japanese society. The age of samurai was over. But the image of the samurai as the noble and skilled warrior lives on. The memory of their honor, discipline, fearlessness, and might still stands as a symbol of pride to the Japanese people. That was awesome. That was so much fun. I love that. I'm totally gonna read this later and do more paths. Sometimes when I do choose your own adventure, I'll deliberately pick the path that I would never ever pick in a million years just to see what would happen. And occasionally I'll wind up getting the winning path by picking every single choice that I would never do in real life. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was somewhat relaxing. But I really do hope it was also educational as well. I know it was for me. I certainly learned a lot about samurai from it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I've got more Japanese videos coming. And lots of other cool videos coming out every single day. Thanks again for watching and have a good night.